Hey everybody, it is November 5th. Remember, and it's pretty fun here. They call it Bonfire Night, and they're the big fireworks show in the city. So I think I'm going to that, although I have reservations because it is fucking freezing. Fucking freezing. I've got my window open, which is where this nice lighting comes from, but I had to edit very, very, very simply because I'm not proficient at doing any of that. The lighting on my computer, because it's just blue. It's just blue because the sky is gray and sad, and it will probably rain. I hope not. I think actually it's starting to clear up, but it's also freezing. It's cold as balls. And I'm not the only one. I'm not like my poor, thin Arizona skin, my cold-blooded stone heart or anything. I've heard many a British complain, so at least I can feel relatively good about that. Although everybody's going, you must be freezing. I'm like, I'm about as freezing as you are. I'm cold, cold, cold. Which I told all of you, if you'd seen any of my other videos, that in a month, I really thought it would be a couple months. It was really a couple weeks, and now I'm cold. There was no in-between, by the way. It was, like, nice and lovely until, like, last week, and it started to just be cold as shit. And today is the coldest it's been for a long time. But oddly enough, my room, at least while I'm awake, stays very warm. So I keep the window open. I don't know if you can hear all the cawing, but I can hear a bird over there. Anyway, so I leave the window open because it's nice. It's nice to, like, cool down. Because the problem with living here, my only really big problem, aside from the fact that I can't see my lovely friends and family, who I miss dearly, aside from that fact, is that it's freezing outside. And it'll be cold outside, and you walk inside and you'll be burning up. And so you have to, and I think I've said this before, but it's just exasperated right now. And it's so warm. It's just like peeling off clothes. And I'm sitting in class and I'm like, oh, and it's too warm. And this lecturer, I think I've talked about him before. Whatever. I mean, like, he is the most droll as far as his tone goes. I'm not going to say anything bad about him anymore, other than the fact that he's absolutely sexist. But other than that, not going to say anymore. I've got a lot of friends on my course here. I don't want anything getting around to anybody. Too late. You're on the internet. Whatever. Yes, it's really easy to sleep in class. It's unbearable. Like how you'll warm up and it's like, oh, literature. You can be boring. I love you. I love literature. There's nothing more exciting to me. Okay. There's like 5 other things that are as or more exciting than literature. But I love literature. And so it's not on the bottom list. Like, I usually can't fall asleep reading because I get too wrapped up in what's going on. I really like it and I wanna do that. So for me, like, it's just such a, and I'm not the only one. Like, people are falling asleep in class all the time. Which I guess is par for the course, but yeah, so I'm complaining about bullshit. It's too warm and it's too cold, and there's no regulation of temperature here. There's no just like a nice 70 that you walk in and you're like, oh, it's a little bit chilly. It's not that much warmer, but you would warm up eventually. You'd feel nice. Now here it's like freezing, hot, and deal with it. So that's what I'm doing. I bought a little more clothes. I bought some clothes because I found that I feel really prepared. I have a lot of clothes, but I'm not really prepared. So I had to go on a very mini spree. Today is also Tuesday, which is my favorite day outside of Friday because excuse me, because it means I don't have anything to do tomorrow. Well, I have things to do, but I don't have class tomorrow. So it is like nearly 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm about that far in my drink of Fireball and Pepsi Max right now. either of those companies want to sponsor me, give me money in any way, you can contact me. I've got contact information everywhere. So, yeah, go right ahead. Anyway, it has been an interesting few weeks. Met some people, went out to some places, and without getting too specific, and I'll talk about why I'm not doing that right now in a minute. Without getting too specific, people who know me, you know, my life can turn into a soap opera really, really quickly, because I believe in an ideal world where I get everything that I want. And unfortunately, like, the world doesn't work that way. But I try. I will never, you know, I'll never give up. I'll never surrender to the tyranny of reality. Nope. I just like to, and I just get in situations that feel really dramatic and really upsetting and no good. And I wake up in the morning and I look at myself and I go, "You're a grown ass fucking adult. Like, get it together. This is no big deal. Fucking handle the situation." And then I feel better, and then I handle the situation, and life goes on. My kill count goes up. You know, I don't always leave the most complete people in my wake. You know, fuck it. Like, I leave people as they are. Like, I'm not so narcissistic. You know, I guess I'm being just self-deprecating, but I'm also being self-important. So, fuck all of that. Don't listen to that. I have little mini soap operas, and they happen, and I know a lot of my friends, and I hope you're watching back home, people who've told me they live vicariously through me. I hope you're watching, because it's still happening, and I would be glad to talk to you about it privately via email, Skype, FaceTime, Facebook, book time, any of the things. The reason I'm not talking about it on here is because I'm still in kind of an open debate with myself about how much I want to talk about. And that's actually not the truth. I want to talk about everything and everybody. But I don't necessarily want to have people sign release forms. Obviously, they're not going to do that. But, you know, like I don't want to be kind of trapped in anything that I say, because the internet is forever, and the internet remembers everything. So, you know, like if I talk about people, I want to kind of be able to, like, freely talk about them, and I might change their names or do something otherwise, but I don't necessarily want to hide my identity. And if I'm publicizing my blog entries and my YouTube and all of the fucking things, then people who I talk about will be in that. And I don't always have nice things to say. I don't always think nice things, because I'm a human being, and that's the thing that happens. So it's a little bit of a dilemma for me, and I had a friend recommend to me to have a blog that, you know, this is for family, this is for friends, this is for people you know, and you can publicize it and you can talk about it. Then you need to create another blog and just be completely anonymous. And you'll probably gain followers, and you can talk about all the things that you can't talk about on your other blog. But I've never really believed in that. And not, like, because it's a good idea. It's a good idea. It's a lot more work, like running 2 blogs at a time, going to school, running my Facebook, running my Tumblr, like all the things that I do. Like, I do a lot of social media shit. And too much, actually, but I do a lot of it. And it's a lot. And that just seems like extra work to me. So I'm lazy. I'm lazy, which is fine, because it is a good idea. But I remember when I first got Facebook, I first got Facebook a really, really long time ago. It's so cool. But when people started to join, and like friends and family were joining, and like my family members were adding me, I was editing a lot of the things that I said. And I decided pretty clearly and distinctly that the only thing I was going to edit were, like, I was going to put, even back then they had these, everybody's really excited that, like, the group, you can keep people from seeing your statuses, but that used to be a thing in the privacy settings the whole time. I think they just made it more accessible. But there were people I didn't want to see it. Like, if I have my nieces or, like, cousins, like, young kids on my Facebook, those were really the only thing I ever edited for, and I just excluded them from being able to see my stuff, because my attitude became, like, fuck it, like, this is who I am. This is me, this is what I talk about, this is my life, and I think that my family and the people that love me can either, like, appreciate me for that, appreciate my differences, love me in spite of my differences or things that upset them, or not. You know, like, they can unfriend me. If they don't like the things that I say, like, they can unfriend me. But that's a really fucking weird thing to do if I'm your cousin or your niece or your sister or your daughter. I mean, like, that would be really weird. They could be like, fucking mom, why'd you unfriend me? Obviously, my mother would never do that. But it hasn't, like, it hasn't really created any problems. I think, like, the most it's ever done is, I'm like, some little, like, weird issues, because text and you know, like Facebook messages, things like that, they don't translate well from a sense of humor. They don't communicate tone and intonation, and they don't. And I mean, we all know this, and that's why we analyze literature, because it's just text on a page, so you can apply all sorts of things to it. So yeah, I think that's caused some, like, fucking minor issues where you're like, man, I'm sorry, like, I didn't mean to upset you, like, I was upset, or I wasn't upset, or whatever. And then I think the biggest thing that ever came out of it was, like, more open discussions. Like, I would say something, and my mom would be like, I didn't know you felt that way, let's talk about that. And we'd talk about it, and maybe one of us wouldn't change our minds or anything, but we'd talk about it, and it facilitates conversation. So sure, like, I kind of edit myself, but I work pretty hard to not do that. Like, most of the time, what I would edit is things that, like, are really explicit, and try to keep my younger family members from being exposed to that. And I've actually gone a bit lazy about that recently, so I'm sorry. But I don't think I'm not showing anybody new. I'm not being outrageous or anything. So this is my dilemma. Obviously, like, coming down to my blog is what I want to give away, and, like, how comfortable I feel with bringing issues from my life that are a bit more personal into the foreground, and maintaining relationships with people without insulting, offending, or if I do, like, at least create a dialogue about that instead of just having people be constantly mad at me. So that's what I'm facing right now, and I haven't quite made the decision. When I do, my blog will be the first to know. You guys will know all sorts of things. But still, like, most of my life is pretty available on the internet. And one second, I'm going to have another drink. Makes me warm. Cinnamon. Tastes like Christmas. So, yeah, so that's one small aspect of the blogging that I'm going with, and I'm sure there are blogs and articles about this. And everybody says, like, don't put too much of yourself out there, don't put too much of yourself out there. But what's funny about the trend now is that everybody's putting so much of themselves out there. It's kind of a thing that the rest of the world has had to deal with. And I don't see that changing. I don't see suddenly people becoming more and more private. I see people becoming more and more open, and those lines of communication and those pictures, and your life is out there all the time. Of course, like, I know some of you keep things under wraps, and, like, really good for you. I'm really, really glad for your ability to do that. I seem to have a persistent incapability of not talking about anything. Anything. So this is one of my tools. It's one of my mediums. It gives me some alone time, some quality time with myself to think and talk out issues, and I really enjoy it. So these aren't stopping anytime soon. And I don't think the whole world is gonna stop either. I think like, don't do really fucking stupid things, and don't be a terrible person. And I think most of the time, if you aren't those things, like, you won't receive the backlash that people receive for doing or being those things. So that's mostly all I have to say about that. Things in my dorm are going really, really well. I live with all these kids, like 18 to 20, and they're all just the sweetest, funniest, outrageous, loveliest, brightest, enjoyable kids ever. And when I first got here, I was really concerned, because I do this thing, and I think that everybody does it, obviously, where I alienate myself. I take myself out of pictures because that seems to be either easier, or because I have all this mental dialogue going on, this internal monologue of how I'm not half as funny as I think I am, or, well, I mean, like, even half as funny as I think I am is pretty fucking funny. How I'm not like at all funny, like how I'm dumb and not interesting, uh, and not attractive or not enjoyable to be around. All the things that people, we have all these internal monologues going on, especially when you approach a new group. And I faced this problem a lot in the States when I would work at a new restaurant. And for some reason, I always found restaurants to be the most cliquish, the most ingrained in each other's lives. Like, these people had been working there 2 months, and you knew everything about them, and they were best friends with these people, and they drank afterwards at the bar. Like, in restaurant and bar situations where you're working, it is so astoundingly cliquish. Like, you have the cool kids, and you have every trope, every stereotype, every archetype. Like, they exist in restaurants and bars. And when you walk into it, especially when you're like 18 and you walk into it, was when I had a lot of trouble. It was probably like 18 to 23. I would just be like, I don't know how to fit into your groups. Doctor Who reference that nobody gives a fat fuck about. Yeah, and so I would be like, God damn it, I know I'm funny. I know I'm funny, or I know I'm interesting. I know I'm smart. I know it. But every time I go to work, I feel like such a fucking loser. So I dealt with this issue. I dealt with feeling like this and like hating it, like hating places I worked and like really disliking people I worked with. Sometimes that was me. Most of the time that was me. In a few cases, it was definitely the people that I worked with. But I felt that way when I got here, and I think it might have been that like I'm an expat, I come here and I'm American, so automatically like I'm different and I'm outside of this. I'm older, which I'm the only person who keeps bringing that up. So I probably should have took that clue early on. That was in my own head. That was me feeling like that. Everybody else just kind of forgot. It just didn't really matter. But that's not what I saw. Am I the old lady in the door? It's just weird. So anyway, I mean, like this dynamic builds up, and I feel pretty like away from everybody. And when that happens, if you can believe it or not, there are times in my life where I don't speak. It's so somber. No, where I come into situations and I'm like, oh, okay, like I don't really have anything to add, or like I'm not impressed with this conversation, or I'm just gonna sound like an idiot. I'll usually talk anyway. Or if I don't want to talk about my own life, like if I'm tired, like I'm just gonna go to bed. Like I like to be alone, and I do have some solitary aspects in my life. And while I'm enthusiastic and excited to meet and be around people, I also really, really value like being alone and rejuvenating, kind of like refreshing that battery. And so when I first got here, there was a lot of that. Like I'd go out, I'd be with friends, and I'd come in, and I'd be like, "Hey, you all right? You all right?" Which is what they say. And the response is, "Yeah, you all right?" It's weird, and I'm not putting on an accent. It's just the only way I know how to say it. So please, if you are gonna see me later or something, don't make fun of me. I'm sorry. But that's a response, and you just like nod. It's basically like the State's equivalent of like, hey, how you doing? And you just say, good, how are you? And I wouldn't engage any further than that. Like I'm like, these people don't really want to talk to me. Like they don't want anything to do with me, and that's fine. But what's cool about this is that it's evolved and it's changed. And I'm in a situation surrounded by people who like me, and fuck, that's my favorite. But also, like, more importantly, around people I like. I really like everybody, and I don't have any problems. Everybody's sweet and amazing, and we have a lot of fun. These kids are just my favorite kids. And yeah, so that's my dorm situation, which has just improved so much in the past few weeks that I've become really, really happy about it. Especially because I have so many women on my floor, and I usually have a hard time making friends with women. I don't know why. I think I just like say the wrong things. I'm not sure. But I usually have issues. It's easier for me to be friendly with men. And not because of sexual orientation or anything. I just find that it's an easier, like, I don't know. I'm not trying to, I don't fucking know. I don't know. I'm not going to analyze it right now. But I do. And so this is really nice. Like, most of the girls here, like, I'm friends with them and friendly with them. And it makes me feel really good. It makes me feel like I'm developing relationships that actually matter. I also have a really great female friend, um, uh, from Romania, and she's fantastic. Although she's more American than anything, but she's sweet and funny, and I love to hang out with her. She's really great. So I'm not really short on friends, and that's really good. I haven't gotten too homesick, um, which is good. I think like Facebook really helps. Snapchat helps a lot. I get a lot of really fun Snapchats from friends back home. Makes me really happy. I've got some videos of like the sunset in Arizona, and it makes me feel good. It makes me feel great. So I'm not dealing with too many issues. Like, my life isn't too complicated at the moment. I've got some situations I need to deal with. I also need to get a job. I've got finally got my national insurance number. I put in one resume last night because I just got my national insurance number on Friday, and it's Tuesday. So I'm going tomorrow. I gotta go like makeup shopping and stuff. I started watching YouTube makeup tutorials, which makes you feel like everything I own sucks. I feel like I just shopped in the bargain bin at Walgreens. Anyway, and I gotta go out and put in resumes for jobs, maybe in food service. Actually, I really don't want to work in retail, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I'd really like to get paid cash money. Maybe not cash, but just money. I mean, I just want to get paid, son. Cause haven't had a job, and I'm not exactly running out of money, but I'm basically running out of money. So I'm doing a pretty good job, and I eat at home a lot. See, Mom, I don't eat out all the time, and what else? What else? So I'm going on a big trip in January. I'm going to Paris, Brussels, and Amsterdam for 3 days. So it's 3 days in 3 cities is the name of the trip. And I'm so excited. It's going to be awesome. And it was really inexpensive because it's through the student union for the school. And the student union here has been phenomenal. I'm so satisfied as a student with the work that the university does for us. And especially the student union, who has put on some amazing things, like the 15-pound trip to London. And I didn't even, like, all I spent that I ate at Chipotle, because, you know, it was delicious. So, but that was all I spent. I spent that, and I spent like £5 on going and seeing a play at the Globe Theater, which I'm pretty sure I've talked about in one of my videos. But anyway, like, the London trip was fantastic. So the school that I'm at, like, I'm very happy with it, and they're doing a great job, the student union, of getting students out there and, like, helping them, especially international students, like, helping them take trips and explore things. I cannot wait for Amsterdam. I want to try some beer. I want to go to Brussels. Brussels is going to be beautiful. Paris, I want to pee my pants. I'm going to go to the Eiffel Tower. I'm going to go around. I want to, oh, no, I have to go. Oh, no. This is great. Okay. So there's Paris, where they put the lock, like, couples put locks on a thing, like, to represent their love or whatever. And so I want to go because my ex wrote our names on this wall or fence or thing, but he scratched our name in it. And I think it would be really great if I could go and scratch it out. So I think that's a plan. I have to figure out where and what it is exactly, but I just remembered when he was in Paris that he did that. So I think it will be refreshing and delightful and also pretty fucking funny. So that's on the agenda. And that's an exciting trip. So I think I'm going to take up a full 30 minutes of your time because I think there's some more I have to talk about. If not, I'm going to end really, really soon. 50th Doctor Who anniversary is coming up. Very excited. They have it out in theaters here, and of course they're all sold out. Might be able to get a ticket. But I think we're going to have a Doctor Who party in the dorm and steal somebody's TV and watch it. So that's gonna be fun. Basically, fuck it. Like, basically, that's it. I'm really happy that you tuned in again. I'm sorry I'm not updating as much, but I will be on it. I need to stop having such, like, little drama theaters in my life, and keep doing things, because I'm out and I'm doing things all the time, and it's a lot of fun. It's really great. Halloween was awesome. If you see my Facebook, I had 2 costumes, and they're pretty bomb. Yeah, so I think essentially that is the end of my video. Thank you for listening to me talk to myself. Everybody at home, I love you. I miss you. Send me stuff. I don't care if it's not like money stuff, like things that cost money. Like, just send me a fucking postcard or an email or fucking anything. Like, I've sent out letters. I love you guys, and I want to hear from you because my heart misses you a lot. Mom, I love you. I'm so happy about the good news. I'm actually going to call you in like 2 minutes. Brothers, hi. I love you. Chris, you need to call me. Yeah, I think that's it. I think I'm going to grab myself another drink. You guys have a great night, a great day, whatever it is you're doing in your lives. And again, thank you for listening to me talk to myself.